Hello everybody. Today I can practice candy corn problems by separating the triangles if the bases are involved, or putting top over top, side over side, and the bottom over bottom if the bases are not involved. So let's start by quickly going through our song again. We got candy corn problems. We got candy corn problems.
Candy corn bases separate if there are no bases. Put the top over top, side over side, and the bottom over bottom. Candy corn bases separate if there are no bases. Put the top over top, side over side, and the bottom over bottom.
Yeah. So this is pretty much the same lesson that we did for regular candy corn problems. It's just a bit of additional practice. So I'm just going to go over maybe 2 examples, and then I'll give you the rest of the time to practice on your own. All right, let's take a look at number 1. I see my candy corn. I see that I have a top, I have a bottom. It's asking for AC, which I'm going to call X, which is a side. So, are the bases involved? No. If there are no bases, put the top over top. Do I have both tops? Yes. So I'm going to put 9 over 9.2. The side over side. Do I have both sides? Kind of. Expect to have to add or subtract. Since I'm trying to find a side on the right-hand side, I'm going to need a side on the left-hand side. And 9 plus 5 is 14. So yes, I have both sides involved. So the 14 goes over the x. You could have called BCX, done top over top, bottom over bottom. If you did that, you would have then needed to add that to the 9.2 if you follow that. However, I would rather you go this route. Expect to have to add or subtract. So right off the bat, try and see right here, if I have this is 9 and this is 5, that whole thing's going to be 14, because I'm probably going to have to utilize that. From there, we cross multiply and solve. 9 times x is 9x. 9.2 times 14. I've done this problem so many times, I should know the answer off the top of my head. I feel like it's 128.8. Let's see. 14 times 9.2. Yep. Divide both sides by 9. X equals 14.3 to the nearest tenth. Choice 3 is your answer. So if the bases are not involved, put your top over your top, your side over your side, or your bottom over your bottom, depending on what information is given, and expect to have to add or subtract pieces. Number 2, AD is 24, DB is 12, DE is 4. It's asking for AC. I see my candy corn. Candy corn, bases separate. Are my bases involved? Yes, they're labeled with a 4 and an X, so I'm going to separate my triangles. My big triangle, ACB, and my small triangle, DEB. Expect to have to add or subtract. So right off the bat, I'm going to look to see if I can add or subtract something. And yes, I can add that 24 and 12 to get that 36. So the small one's usually easiest to deal with. DE is 4, DB is 12. Now for the big one, AC is X, and AB is this whole thing, which is 36. Again, expect to have to add or subtract. Put your corresponding pieces on top of each other. X goes over the 4. 36 goes over the 12. Cross multiply and solve. X times 12 is 12x. 4 times 36 is 144. X is 12. That's it. I'm going to let you try 2 on your own, and then I'm going to go over them, and then I'm going to give you the rest of the time to practice on your own. Let me just see if there's anything tricky. Those flagpole questions, I should probably go over one of those. All right. So I want you to try 3 and 4 on your own right now. So please pause the video, then try 3 and 4 on your own, and then unpause. Okay, so now that you tried 3 and 4 on your own, if you did not already try 3 and 4 on your own, pause it and try 3 and 4 on your own. Let's put an X on what we're trying to find. Always look to see if you can add or subtract something to start. This whole thing would have to be 6. Candy corn, bases separate. Are the bases involved? No. If there are no bases, put the top over top. Are both tops involved? That's 2. That's blank. So no. The side over side. Do I have both sides? Yes. I have 6 and I have 9. And the bottom over bottom. Do I have both bottoms involved? Yes. 4 and X. So in this case, it wasn't top over top, it was side over side and bottom over bottom. And if you didn't add right off the bat, you would have not been able to get to the correct answer. Now that I have that proportion, I cross multiply and solve. 6x equals 9 and 4 is 36. Divide by 6. X is 6. Number 4, you should have tried on your own. Again, if you didn't, then pause and try it on your own first. Or don't. Right off the bat, look to see if you can add or subtract something. That's going to be 14.5. It's asking for AE. I see my candy corn. Candy corn, bases separate. The bases are not involved. I just did one of these. I'm not going to go over this one. I want to go on with the bases. So try number 5. Try it on your own. So please pause this. I'll go over number 4 quick because I told you to go over it. Top over top, 1 over x, side over side, 4.5 over 18. Cross multiply and solve. 4.5x equals 18. Got a little sloppy. And you get x equals 4. So number 5, I'd like you to try on your own. If you haven't already, try it on your own now. So please pause and try it on your own. And now we'll go over it. It's asking for DE. I see a candy corn. Candy corn, bases separate. Are the bases involved? Yes, they're labeled with an X and with a 40. So I'm going to separate my triangles, CDE, CAB. The small one's usually easiest to deal with, 15 and X. Expect to have to add or subtract something. CA is 24, AB is 40. Now that I have that, put your corresponding pieces on top of each other. 15 over 24, x over 40. 24x equals 600. 600 divided by 24 is, I think, 25. Yes, it is. So that would be your answer. If the bases are involved, separate the triangles. Expect to have to add or subtract pieces, and then set up your proportion. If the bases are not involved, you put the top over top, the side over side, and the bottom over bottom. Let's go over one of these shadow questions, and then after that, I'm going to let you off on your own. A flagpole casts a shadow 16.6 meters long. So, here's my flagpole. You see shadows on the ground. So, the shadow is right there. That's going to be 16.6. Tim stands at a distance 12.45 meters from the flagpole. So Tim is 12.45 meters from the flagpole, such that the end of Tim's shadow meets the end of the flagpole shadow. So that means his shadow also ends here. So what we have is this. Tim is 1.65 meters tall. Determine and state the height of the flagpole. Well, if you turn your head, I see a candy corn. Candy corn, bases separate. Are the bases involved? Yes. So, I'm going to separate my triangles. I have my flagpole one, and I have Tim. Start with Tim. The height is 1.65. Now, this bottom, because the whole thing is 16.6 and the other piece is 12.45, I'm going to have to subtract. And I get 4.1. And that's why I say for these questions, expect to have to add or subtract. This is x, this is 16.6. Expect to have to add or subtract for Tim's triangle. This piece right here, I had to subtract in order to get that 4.15. Now that I have my proportion, I cross multiply and I set up my proportion, I cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to give you about, so why don't you try and finish it on your own at this point? So please pause. Now that you try to finish it on your own, I'll go over it, see if you got it right. X over 1.65 equals 16.6 over 4.15. 4.15x equals 16.6 times 1.65 is 27.39. Divide by 4.15, x equals 6.6. And that's it. So, candy corn, bases separate. If the bases are involved, separate the triangles. Expect to have to add or subtract. Create your proportion and solve. If there are no bases, put the top over top, the side over side, and the bottom over bottom. Whichever ones you have involved are the ones you're using. And again, expect to add or subtract. So your classwork/homework is to finish this. This comes up on every Regents. It's very important. It comes up with the SAT from time to time as well. And that's it. I hope everybody has a great day. Practice this, and I will be back with my next video soon.